Welcome to the LD Podcast, episode 13. Today's guest, Dawn Torkelson. She is the host of the Strategic Life Coaching Podcast, massage therapist, life coach using the sciences of NLP, hypnosis, neuroscience, and quantum physics. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. And real quick, we're going to take a quick drink. Just a little salute as welcome.
Salud.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. My invention. No. No, she wanted me to introduce the drinks real quick. We got a line of drinks. We have
Grasshopper. Gin and water and lemon.
cucumber infused water.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cucumber infused water and lemon.
Yep. Over here we have cockbull ginger soft drink or ginger beer with Crown Royal Texas Mesquite. You know, very good with a lemon wedge in there. Very good. And then obviously my favorite, my go-to Modelo. Because, you know, Modelo sponsors me, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Because I'm Mexican. I mean, I pay them, but yeah, they...
I love Modelo.
Yeah, me too.
I like Negro. The dark beer.
Yeah, I know what that means. This one. All right, so let's start with so from massage therapist to a life coach. How did that happen?
Oh gosh, that's quite a journey. So I started in massage therapy, and that's when I first was introduced to energy, and I really got the concept of that massage is more than just, you know, healthcare and physical, that there's an energy connection with people. And I started actually being able to feel the energy when I worked on people. You know, I could almost pick up on their emotions. And I've been massaging people. Like, I massaged this lady once and I had tears in my eyes and I couldn't figure out why I suddenly just felt so sad. And then she started talking and she was telling me that her husband just passed away and that she'd been taking care of him for many, many years. And I was just like, that was it. It's almost like I knew before she even told me her story. Mm-hmm. And that really intrigued me. And so I always was really interested in the mind, but I never had a good concept of this whole mind-body connection before.
Right.
And so I started kind of seeking my own healing, my own journey. I started looking into everything from meditation to yoga. And then by searching all these different things, I kind of found the Tad James Company, where I ended up taking a course in neuro-linguistic programming, mm-hmm. NLP, and hypnosis. So that's really what got me into the life coaching, because when I started working on my own issues and I realized how dramatic and fast the changes were and how it was improving not just my way of life, but the way I saw the world around me and I saw life, it just really combined all of it together. So I realized I could use everything I've ever learned. And throughout that time, I also studied acting, which also gave me an awareness of tapping into emotions.
Right.
So when I look back, I see everything that I've ever done, you know, whether it was going into massage therapy, acting, NLP kind of found me, the hypnosis, that I could put it all together and utilize all these different skills and modalities in this one area.
Very nice.
Yeah. So when I realized what great work it was, I couldn't keep this information and this knowledge to myself, because I see how powerful it is and how it can just help literally every person on the planet, because nobody's ever not had some kind of trauma in their life. And you don't, and I'm not talking trauma like being, like, it doesn't have to be dramatic, like you were abused or in a war, just even having heartbreak can be very traumatic for somebody. And that's enough that it can literally alter your life. And then as I learned more and more, I started studying more neuroscience, which goes into quantum physics. And with that, I realized we get trauma passed down to us in our DNA. So some of the pain that we're feeling that we carry around in our daily life could have come from an ancestor. So it's not even our pain. It's past emotions and past memories from ancestors, because if you don't deal with it, it gets passed down the line. And that really brings us to what we're seeing today in real life, in real time.
With all these problems going on right now.
With all these problems going on, it's like, why are people so passionate about, getting kind of acknowledgement for their ancestors? It's because this is a lot of pain that's come down from great-grandparents and grandparents and parents, and it hasn't been healed yet. So when we heal this, then we kind of give a clean slate for our children, Yeah. So the minute we can start healing this, it literally, it's like a chain. We're all connected like a linked chain. So when you heal this pain, it'll heal it all the way back. So literally you're like healing your ancestors' pain, as well as getting it out of your unconscious space. So
are our ancestors like here with us right now, like looking at us like, hey, motherfucker, like get your shit together so I can heal?
They probably are. I don't really know. I don't really know about that. I don't know if they're like literally staring at you, popping you on top of the head. But
is that with all this physical pain I have is from them, or is it them like, hey,
we should check into that. That's actually a possibility.
It's like, why does my body hurt so much?
Well, what this work does teach us, though, is that when you're holding these unresolved issues, you physically feel everything that you feel. I mean, every emotion you have has a physical reaction to it. So if you're feeling this heartache, if you're feeling this guilt or anger, whether it's yours or has been passed down to you in your DNA or on a quantum level, it'll start manifesting in the physical body, which I think really explains a lot of disease, and people, they might say, well, how do you explain like a child that's born with this? Like it's not fair that children are born with these diseases.
True.
But this kind of explains it. It's like if you have all this unresolved trauma and it's being passed down in your DNA, and these emotions manifest in the physical body, and now you pass it on to your offspring, that kind of explains why children are born with some diseases. It kind of gives an explanation to things that we haven't had an explanation to before.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. Now, how would it explain, say, okay, my son is stronger than me, he has a stronger immune system than me, which is fact.
That's great.
Now, where does that come from?
He has good genes.
Oh, great. All right.
Well, you have to think of it. It can go both ways. So, I mean, if you have trauma that's being passed down in your DNA, you're also going to pass down your strengths. And so, of course, maybe some people might get more of the trauma and some people might get more of the strengths. Even look at siblings. One might be born and always have kind of, as they grow up, problems with depression. And maybe another one's always really happy. I mean,
I've seen that.
Yeah,
too.
The unconscious mind, it doesn't pigeonhole things. It just takes what you give it. It's like a file box, and all this information's just been put in there and it's been filed away. It doesn't sort it out. It doesn't say this is good, this is bad. That's up to us to decide. We decide what's good and bad. We decide, is this working for me? And if it's not, I'm going to heal this, and Are these thoughts I'm having? Maybe you have thoughts where you dislike a certain group of people, let's say, and then you maybe research your ancestry and find out that one of your ancestors maybe was in World War II or in a concentration camp, and that might explain why you dislike a certain group of people. It's not like you ever had a problem with this group of people, and it's not like they personally did anything to you, but you still have that kind of trauma base that gets sent down with you, right? So it can go both ways. Maybe, have you ever met like random people that you just really, really like?
Yeah.
It could be the same thing. Maybe they had good experiences and that got passed down. So your unconscious mind isn't going to say, well, I'm just going to grab this negative stuff and pass it down. It's just going to pass down all the information.
So I met people instantly I liked a lot, but I've also met people I hate. Like, I'm just like, I have to destroy you.
Destroy. But then you have to ask yourself, and really, if you truly, truly ask yourself, why do I dislike this person?
I don't know. It could be small things. It could be a lot of things. Well, one thing for me is when I meet someone new, first impression is important. If they're shy, I understand. Okay, you're shy. Not too talkative. But, they come off a little bit like rude. All right, are you tired? You young and stupid? Or you're just an asshole? Well, it doesn't matter to me. You're a piece of shit in my eyes. I know that's fucked up to say, but, that's my truth.
Okay. So I wonder if you could maybe switch that around and look at it at a totally different way and kind of look at it this way. We are all spiritual beings in this physical existence, living these perceptions called life, right? Mm-hmm. So what if you, like you said, you look at someone and you suddenly just don't like them? Maybe they have bad energy. You're picking up on some kind of negativity, it's right? Energy. What if that negativity is something that they're like your mirror? That's something you need to look at. That's something you got to work out within yourself.
Oh, I got a lot of issues. I'm not worried about that.
Right. But I'm just saying that could, you look at someone and you suddenly like them because you're seeing the things you like about yourself. You see another person and you see the things that you're not liking about yourself, So that's why you have to really ask yourself, what is it specifically that I dislike about this person? Because especially if it's someone you don't even know, it can't be their behavior. And if it's going to be something as superficial as, well, I don't like the way they're dressed, or I don't like their shoes. Really, there's something deeper than that. You're not being honest with yourself if you just say, I don't like their clothes. What is it that you specifically don't like? And if you really keep asking that question, you will find the core reason. You'll find a deeper reason. But from my point of view, I think all human beings are the infants that they were born as. And infants, they don't judge. They're nothing but pure love. They're nothing but source energy. They've never had a negative thought. They don't even know what that is.
All right.
You think of an infant.
It's just total innocence.
They're totally innocent. And infants, all they want to do is be loved. They're totally off instinct. They'll cry when they're uncomfortable. They'll cry, when they're hungry. But otherwise, they don't have any hang-ups. They don't sit there and say, oh, I just drooled, don't look at me, or, oh my God, I'm having a bad hair day. They don't care. They do not judge.
I heard you say that on your podcast.
Right.
That was a good line. I actually did laugh. I was like, what the hell?
But it's true. They are just little love balls, right?
Yeah.
So you have to think, that's how we were created. Mm-hmm. That is our true soul. That is our true essence. So anything apart from that, basically is behavior. And our behavior will come from experience and come from different determinations and perspectives that we make. So really when you're judging somebody, literally you're judging yourself. It's what you see about yourself and that other person. Because realistically, when you see another person, can you really say that person is their behavior? They might have bad behavior. Like they might be doing something and you're like, I don't want that behavior in my life. I don't want it around my family, which is valid.
Yeah.
But is their behavior the person?
The person?
Right.
Well, look at our president, Biden.
Okay. Look at him.
He's a dumbass. I don't want to be around him.
Right. It's you don't like his behavior. You don't like that he's a puppet in this play.
I don't care. He's a puppet. Have you heard him speak?
Oh, but I'm just saying those are all behavior issues. Now, maybe his true heart. I don't think anyone gets into politics or really does anything that they do without good intent in the beginning, and then through time, maybe you get corrupted, or maybe different experiences change how you originally thought about it. So if you go all the way back to the beginning, right?
Okay.
Who is the person? The person's not the behavior. The behavior is what came about. The person is more than likely that infant person. A good person, a kind person with morals and values, right? And then things in life change, and they change their behavior. They change their thoughts. And the reason I say that they're the behavior is because you can change your behavior. You can change your thoughts. You can decide, you know what, this is crappy. Whatever I was thinking isn't working anymore. And you can change it to something better. But the person you are, you don't change that. Okay. If that makes sense. Like the soul okay. doesn't change. The behaviors can change. The attitude can change.
So that's where that comes from, where it comes to like if you take two toddlers of different ethnicities, different backgrounds. Oh, they play, they have fun, they just go and do whatever.
Right,
and
they don't judge.
Yeah, but they're growing up and pulled apart with their different radical beliefs that are taught to them. That's how. Yes,
learn behavior. Learn behavior, because a child from the time they're in the womb until about 6 years old, they're in a brainwave called theta. And when you're in theta, that's the same brainwave that you want to be in when you do hypnosis or meditation. This is when you connect with the unconscious mind. So this is where basically your programming gets set. Because when you're in theta, like I already said, the unconscious mind's not going to categorize things. It's not going to say this is good, this is bad. It's just going to say, take whatever you tell it. So let's say you have a sibling, and your sibling's telling you, I don't like you. You're stupid. Nobody will like you. I don't want to play with you.
That's
right?
My sister.
All right. Okay. So you accept that suggestion that nobody likes you. You're stupid, right? And then let's say 10, 20 years down the road, you feel insecure. You don't have that confidence meeting people, because in the back of your head, you have this little voice of your sister saying, you're stupid. Nobody likes you, So you want to approach somebody, but you're feeling insecure because in the back of your mind, you're saying you're stupid. No one likes you. Maybe you want to go for a job that you're really excited about. And then when you walk into that interview, you hear that voice. Oh, you're stupid. You're not going to get this. Nobody likes you. Right? So, and the reason it's there is because at the time when you were young and you were impressionable, you accepted that suggestion. And that came from a negative emotion. Your sister or whatever hurt your feelings. And right? So you had these negative feelings. You accepted this suggestion like, oh, okay, she doesn't want to play with me. She doesn't like me. Nobody likes me. You're feeling rejected or abandoned at that moment. Now, logically, you could think, oh, well, it's because she had her friends over. She was just being a bully. That's logic. But between the womb and 6, you don't have logic yet.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to categorize it.
Okay, so that's the theta state right there, right? In that time period, that's theta.
Yeah. Because your higher beta, that's that's the process. Like when you're really concentrating and you're like doing math or, learning a language, well, I don't know about learning a language. You can do that when you're young, but like when you're really concentrating, doing your taxes or something,
right?
You're like in beta. When you're at work, you're in beta. When you're really focused on one thing, and you have to think, theta is your unconscious mind, and it's grabbing like 40 million bits of information per second, and it's just storing it. It's storing everything. You can't be like in tunnel vision like you are in beta.
Right.
So you have to think all these things that are happening around you, all the influences that you have are being stored. And that's going to be your default. And that's going to be the program that every other choice you make when you get older, you're running off. And when you realize this, and you realize, like for me, for example, when I realized I'm not having very good relationships in my life. Like, why do I keep following a certain pattern? And when I went seeking my own work, that's when I found NLP. And when I went through the courses and I had my own breakthrough, it all just clicked. Like, I never had a very good relationship with my mom. It's horrible to say, but I really could, there was a time when I could say I really didn't like her. I didn't think she supported me. I never saw her as really positive influence in my life. Like I loved her, but I really did not like her. We didn't have a very close relationship. And that did bother me. And I never really understood why, but I kind of just blamed her for everything wrong in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And then I went through the process, and I did timeline therapy on being pissed off, because I always carried like a chip on my shoulder.
Right.
So when the instructor said, "Hey, is there anyone in this room that can do pissed off really well?" I was like, "Well, I can," And they knew that when I first walked in. Like, they already knew they were picking me.
You just jumped right up, huh?
No, they kind of just stared at me when they asked that question.
Oh, no shit.
They'd already knew I was the one.
Wow.
Because it was a chip on my shoulder. And even though it had been there my whole life, I didn't see it. But I knew it was there. I always had like this wall. Like I knew I always had like this wall of protection around me. And so we did the timeline therapy on the emotion of being pissed off. And it took about 20 minutes. And I swear, I have never since then, and it's been years, I have never felt the emotion of being pissed off or anger. Like I've been frustrated or upset since then, mm-hmm. but I've never got to that emotion again. Since then, it wiped it out. And literally my whole view of the world changed when I got rid of that angry emotion. And that was a turning point in my life. That's when I, for the first time, like felt anything, because I just blocked everything with that pissed off, right?
That's wild.
It was totally wild. And then I remember sitting in the chair, and they asked me after we did this. Well, one thing that they do ask is they ask your unconscious mind, when was the first time you ever felt this emotion? And the story that my mind came up with was in the womb. I'd been ticked off since I was in the womb. And so to put it all together, I ended up going to my mom after this. And I asked her about this. And my mom used to joke around when I was a teenager, because I was a real brat. And she used to always tell me I was born ticked off. So I went to her and I was like, you're absolutely right. I got mad at you when I was in the womb. And this is why you and I have had a shitty relationship, because I held a grudge because I was so uncomfortable. The reason I was uncomfortable, I was a huge baby. I had no room to move. It wasn't her fault.
Oh, yeah, you're like 6'4.5", and you're a female.
No, I was over a 10-pound baby.
Holy
huge.
Shit.
My daughter was only 6 pounds, 3 ounces. And my mom took one look at her and she goes, "You were never that small."
Well, gosh, I mean, your poor mom, no wonder.
Well, I know, but
And then
I held a grudge. But this is just telling you how your unconscious mind works. Like, I was uncomfortable, and I held a grudge all those years.
That's fucking terrible. Your poor mom.
But you know what? My mom's my best friend now.
Your mom's an angel.
My mom is such an angel. And I wish I would have known this when I was younger, because she tried to do so many amazing things. And now that I look back, she always supported me. She was such a great mom. And I was such a little brat that, you know, I had to go to her and apologize. I'm like, I am so sorry. I had no idea why I was mad at you. I knew I was mad at you, but I never knew why.
Wow. And they pulled it out of the theta part of your mind.
20 minutes.
But they had to pull it from the theta part of your mind. That's how they did it.
Yeah, from the unconscious mind.
The unconscious mind.
Yes.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so they pulled it from the subconscious mind, and that was my memory. My memory, the first time I ever felt ticked off was in the womb, and my mom verified this story.
Well, she wasn't punching you and shit. She's like, motherfucker, stop moving.
Don't she do that?
Wow.
She'd only hurt herself. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of research lately, and there was a study done in 2013 with mice, and what they did is, and it was from Emory University School of Medicine or something like that, and they took these mice and they gave them a cherry blossom scent, and they would shock them at the same time. Okay, so they associated that stimulation of the shock with the scent, right? And then they bred the mice, and the next generation, they would give them the same scent, and they would react. They would try to run away from the scent. They would react the same way as the mice who had the shock.
Really?
And then the grandpups, so they did the pups and the grandpups, they reacted the exact same way when they were exposed to that scent, and yet they never got the shock. So that's a very modern study to verify what people even 100 years ago, Freud was saying about how the unconscious mind holds on to emotion, and to clear it, you have to work it out within you. And that correlates with the other studies, about which can explain why people right now want to heal the pain of their ancestors. Why they're so angry about what happened to their ancestors, because they haven't healed that yet. So now we have modern science that's actually proven these theories.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, so my son is feeling all my bullshit.
Yes.
Champ.
He's sorry.
Sorry, buddy. It wasn't your fault. Wasn't my fault.
At the same time, it's not necessarily the parents' fault, because we're getting stuff from our other ancestors. But ultimately, my favorite saying is, it's all my fault. And the reason I say it's all my fault is because it doesn't really matter where it got passed down from. To break this chain, it's up to me. I have to decide to be a better person. I have to decide I don't want to be angry. I have to decide to give love to the world. Like, it's all my fault what I do with this.
So it's all up to my son to make it better.
That's right. And up to you. Because if you get yourself clear, you break that chain. And you have to think, entanglement theory says that we're all an entangled energy. So if you clear yourself, it'll not only clear your ancestors, it'll clear your son.
But my ancestors didn't want me.
You don't know
Well, my
that.
father didn't want me. I want you, champ. You're my son. I love you. My dad didn't want me. Complete different thing. See? Look, I'm already making better.
There you go.
That's progress, right?
Seriously, yes. I mean, people need to know that they're loved and wanted. People need to know that they're valued and they're important. Because, like my earlier example, you make a flippant little remark, like, you're not worthy.
I make a lot of little flippant remarks.
But you say it to a really young child, and if they accept that, now they're stuck with "I'm not worthy" for the rest of their life. Man. That's part of their programming.
Sorry, champ.
So you need to tell people that you care about every day how important they are to you.
My niece is right there. Sorry, Brisa. I did it to her too. I was only joking around.
But you know what? That doesn't mean they accepted it. It's when they accept that suggestion.
Look, she's over here, 23 years old, buying a house. This is bullshit.
Are you kidding? She's smart. She's beautiful. She's obviously savvy.
She neglects me.
Hey, she's buying a house. That's...
Her and her boyfriend neglect me.
Hey.
Disrespect me every day.
Yeah, it's all right. You're old enough to deal with it.
Oh, I don't care.
I'm talking about when you're a kid.
I don't feel nothing, so...
Well, good. So don't worry about it.
But, real quick, you have to try this.
Okay. This is like one of those meals, but it's just made with whiskey.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
No, it's a meal. I just don't have the proper mug. You know what?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It has a different flavor.
It's a Texas mesquite whiskey.
Oh, that's it. It's like a smoky flavor.
Yes.
That's it.
That's exactly it.
That's it.
You nailed that. You were a bartender or something?
I was.
Just stop bragging.
I'm a jack of every trade.
Yeah, I know, no shit, huh? Over here showing off and shit.
Yeah.
Man, but...
That was pretty good. Interesting with that smoky flavor, but it was good.
Yeah, you want one before you...
I'll finish this.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you got 2 drinks right there. You're going slow and you work tomorrow, huh? Yeah, you gotta take it easy.
I do.
Next time. So let's go back to how we heal. Like, so I gotta work through my stuff, and that's gonna help my ancestors, who's over here beating on my shoulder, my back, and my neck, and my knee, and my wrist, and everything.
Yes.
And then help my son.
Yes.
And my niece.
And just think, your son's still at a young age where, let's say he gets some work done. He has a clean slate for the rest of his life, and to pass on with his kids a clean slate. That's pretty awesome when you think of it that way.
Yeah, it is, because he's over here making me worried right now. Because he's always trying to destroy me.
He's trying to destroy you?
Yeah.
How?
Well, you weren't here earlier. We were setting up. My niece was here. She was watching him trying to beat me up.
You guys do martial arts.
Well, that's different.
You're probably wrestling around all the time.
That's different. That's besides the point, okay? The fucking kid's a monster. And he's bigger than me, so it's fucked up. He's picking on me.
Oh,
the way I used to do to him.
Oh. Do you see a pattern there?
It seems like the right thing to do. I don't know. I'm just looking through.
Well, see, that's what happens when you pick on them when they're little. They grow up. Then they get bigger than you, and they're like, oh, I remember this.
This is good. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking on that note, not picking on, we're kind of like hassling, just messing with you, whatever. I did that to his uncle on his mom's side. Just playing with him. Never meant to hurt him, disrespect him. Used to like beat him up a little bit. He did that to him.
And what?
He did that to him. His uncle did that to him. What I did to his uncle did that to him. But now that he knows how to defend himself, now that he's bigger, now he's freakishly strong. Where's that rematch at? He hasn't had it yet.
Nope.
No, he hasn't had it. I'm like, hey, did you get your uncle yet? He don't want none. What the hell?
Hey, you have to know your limits.
With his deep ass voice. But
you have to know your place.
Yeah, true. But that is a lot of information to...
It's kind of mind-blowing, right?
It is. It's so fucking much, though.
But when you think about it, it almost makes sense.
No, some of it is a little comprehensive. Like, oh shit, hold on, I'm not that smart. But most of it is like, what the fuck?
But you are smart. See, that's a limiting belief right there.
Well, I'm always studying and reading.
Self-talk.
I'm always studying and reading and drinking, so it kind of cancels out. So, yeah, but I didn't know how to drive an 18-wheeler in like an hour. So, yeah, I guess I am smart. Yeah, yeah, I have a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. But repetitions for me. No, it's a lot though. It is a lot. It is a whole lot.
Well, you have to think the unconscious mind is so fast though. When you choose to get rid of these negative emotions, these blocks, this negative self-talk, when you actually choose that, okay, I just want to be happy. I want to live a happy life, and I'm going to get rid of all this crap that's preventing me from doing this. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long. Like I said, for me to get rid of that pissed off, it was like 20 minutes. So if you think about it, you can get rid of all these emotions each in like 20 minutes each, and then you find the root cause of where things came from. And because think of like a tree, and then the roots come out from the tree, and the roots are all the root causes, right? And then you have, the trunk and all the branches, and the branches are all the BS, like the overeating, the being depressed, the anxiety, the alcoholism, like the branches are all this other stuff, right? Take out that root, and when you pull that root out, the whole tree comes down. So you can work on all that stuff, but the first thing you have to do is get rid of the root cause that's creating all this other stuff. So like for me, if someone comes to me, I usually recommend at least 3 sessions, and my sessions run about 3 hours. So that's like 9 hours total. But when you think about it, to change your entire mindset, get the neurology of your brain, because when you change your thought, you change the way that the brain's sending signals, like the synapses. But when you think about it, the reason we get rid of everything, and then like in the first 2 sessions, and then the third one really is where I do the coaching, where I teach them different things to do to make it a habit, to keep these results. I teach them, different things to, like meditation, like their grateful list, their want list. I teach them, like goals, how to set goals, SMART goals, and, really how to focus on their outcomes so that they can get the best outcome, and so that they make these new habits, these new thought patterns, the new kind of DOS system, the new baseline that everything runs off.
I remember, I don't know how many years ago it was, you were practicing. You're like, oh, let me practice on you. I was like, nah, don't do that shit. But you kept asking me, what's the problem you have? What's the problem you have? I don't even remember, but I was like, waking up in the fucking morning. So you did your, I didn't think, oh yeah, you did your bullshit session on me, but that's just the way I talk.
Right. But, and the thing is, to really get results, 1, you have to want the work, and 2, you have to believe in it somewhat.
Yeah, well, well, look at the fucking job I have now. I wake up at 2:30 or 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
I wake up. It's not easy, but I do wake up. Because before that, oh, man.
I remember you had like 4 or 5 alarms.
Oh, I still got them. Actually, it's more now. But regardless, I still wake up, though. Yeah. But, it's way better than what it was before that, prior, because, man,
I wanted to do more sessions. I wanted to get more into the root. But I was just grateful you at least let me practice one thing on you.
Well, I was afraid.
You were afraid?
Yeah, come on.
What do you think I'm going to do?
I was bred to stay hard and feel nothing.
And you know what? That's actually very common, and that goes to like a limiting belief system where, and I feel so bad for guys. I do. No, sorry, you almost spit up.
You feel bad for guys?
Well, I do in the sense. No, I do in the sense that it has been ingrained in your subconscious patterning that men are not supposed to be vulnerable, that men are supposed to like just be ultra tough. And I think that's sad in a way, because it's okay to have emotions and it's okay to be vulnerable. And you can, I think some of the most vulnerable people are by far the strongest. You know, it's okay to be a manly man and be strong and yet be able to feel. And I think that's really important, that you're able to do both. I don't think there's anything weak about feeling. You know, if you are a new father, you know, and you're crying holding your newborn baby, that doesn't make you weak. That's a strong person, you know. But then, you know, some guys are like, they don't ever want to show emotion. And that's what I mean when I say I feel sorry for you guys, because you have a lot of pressure on you to like have this persona of I'm strong. And the thing is, you're strong anyway. You can feel vulnerable at times and still be strong.
Every time I feel like I need to cry, I suck that tear back in before it even comes out. I push that shit to the knees, to the shins, to the fucking ankles underneath my feet, and I step on it and scrape it. And then I walk forward. What I do then,
Is that like a meditation you do?
I get my mouthpiece, put it in, chin down, hands up, and march fucking forward. I'm like, fuck this. I ain't doing that shit. And I keep going. But I was taught that was healthy.
And if it works for you. But I think it's healthier to... I think it's healthier...
to actually deal with it.
No, it's healthier to have that emotion and just accept
it seems
this
sad.
is part of humanity. It's okay to have an emotion.
Maybe that's why I'm so messed up. Sorry, champ. Sorry, Brisa.
But, you know, I mean, it's totally okay.
Is it?
Yeah, of course it is.
By society 2021 standards, right?
You know, I think and forgive me for saying this, but I almost feel like we've went from one side of the spectrum to the other, and we still need to meet in the middle.
Who,
like,
you and me?
No, just kind of in society in general. Like, you know, that example, men are supposed to be so tough. And now, you know, it's almost like men are trying to find that softer side. So they're going from one extreme, one side of the spectrum to the other. And now they are losing some of that toughness. And instead of having that middle where you're strong and vulnerable, some are just becoming like totally wussy. And it's like but that's not healthy either. No, because they're denying, because when they go that far to the wrong side of the spectrum, they're denying that strength in them. They're denying that strong part of their masculinity. So it's almost like they went from you can't have any emotions to now they're being overly emotional, but that doesn't fit who they truly are either, you know?
I understand.
Yeah. So they got to find that middle ground.
Yeah.
Because I don't think either is very healthy.
Yeah, because not to be mean or anything, but, you know, from my background and jobs I've had that were like manly jobs, I guess you could say, I stood out and I was like, you're a bitch. You're a pussy. You know, just this week, I think it was Tuesday. And there was a few guys I know that listen to this fucking podcast. Yeah, one guy called in. And then I saw him the next day, hey, what's going on? What, your mangina fucking hurt? You fucking pussy? He got butthurt and walked out. I don't give a fuck, but fuck him. But anyways, yeah, he getting soft. Well, guys are soft, and they're getting on that softer side. It's like, come on, you at least could have like, haha, good one. And I've been like, you know, not be a bitch about it, but.
No, I agree. There's, like, I'll be honest. I'm kind of a strong woman. So I've got a little alpha male in me.
Yeah, and you think you kick my ass? Shit.
Well, I can.
Yeah.
Not in jiu-jitsu, but Muay Thai, yes.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Well, only because I'm not training anymore and you are. But otherwise,
I'm not training jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai no more. I did that for like 2 hours, and I was like, I got it. Enough to beat the average.
I can take you then.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so regardless. Now you made me forget what I was saying. I had a good point.
Stop trying to make me spit on.
I'm not trying. It's not my fault. You can't drink and laugh at the same time. Oh, yeah. So what I was saying was, what the hell was I saying?
Shit, I don't remember.
Oh, we were talking about guys that are like,
weak.
So
Weak, right?
Weak. No. What I was saying was I'm kind of a stronger woman. I'm so fortunate and grateful that like in the last 5 to 10 years, I've really learned who I am. And it took a long time. It took more than half my life for me to figure out who I am and be really comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. And truly, truly find that self-love and self-worth. And thank God I finally did. I'm so grateful for that. And that being said, I know I'm a strong woman, and it's kind of hard for me to date because I like stronger men. If they're a little more on the wimpy side, it's not going to work because they end up resenting me because they think I'm pushy because I'm a stronger woman.
You don't want that.
And yes. I don't want that.
Yes, Dawn.
Oh, God, no. I mean, I want you to have your own opinion and your own...
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Dawn, can you get...
I mean, I don't want you to fight me on everything.
We just say, Jimmy. We're like, Jimmy, go get me a hamburger from whatever, downtown, across town. Okay, Dawn.
Well, that's all right.
You like those you hate those weak guys? When you say, go get me a chicken sandwich.
You know what?
Get it yourself. I love you.
No, I mean, I don't want someone to be rude. But at the same time, it would be really cool to be like, hey, what do you want for dinner tonight? I'm kind of craving hamburgers. Cool. Let me fire up the grill.
That's a manly dude right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like
I'm manly,
cool.
but I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Shit, hold on, let me get up, grab a drink first.
Right. I'm just saying, like, have you seen some of those fashion magazines?
Hell, I haven't seen no damn fashion magazines. What the fuck? You better act right.
Some of the new fashions, like, they literally have men in, like, skirts and stuff. And, like, thigh-high boots.
Are you serious?
Boots up to their knees and, like, skirts. And I'm just like, no. I mean, to me, I couldn't get into that. And it's okay. Like, if somebody really likes that style and it looks appealing on them, that's great. But personally, that's, like, it just makes me think that's the spectrum. We went from one end to the other, and we have to find that happy medium.
Were they at least Scottish with their kilts or no?
No.
Oh God, that's even worse.
I wish I had the magazine with you. I'd show you.
Fuck it. Oh,
but even if you look at some of the newer
Oscar can bring it up on the screen.
Oscar, you should find it.
Oscar, what magazine was it? Do you remember?
I think it maybe was like a Vogue or something. One of those magazines. And
yeah, I'll take him to Samoa, but that's why it's here, because he can look it up.
Oh,
yeah. Oscar
look
up.
I don't want to look up men's skirts.
No. Look up fashion trends, like men's fashion trends 2020, 2021.
When you find it, just speak up. But let's ignore that. Let's just keep talking. But yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, I understand that.
Not feminine, just men's fashion trends, because it's look at that.
And that's a straight man.
Don't tell me how to Google.
Settle down. Don't tell me how to Google. I forgot.
Oh man.
I apologize. I wasn't born with that techie gene.
The rise of man's fast.
So I forget.
What the fuck?
Look.
That's a dude right there?
Yeah.
That's a trap.
Look, he got hairy legs. Oh shit.
Well, I mean, some are women. Make sure you just get the men though. But I think that's a woman.
That's a woman.
Yeah, that's a cute skirt.
I mean, I see motherfuckers in what the fuck is? Oh,
okay,
hell
that's
no.
a man.
Now, is that a man, or does he identify as a woman during these crazy times? That's the.
Okay, you're right. I'm just saying. When I'm saying
Because we did go from one extreme to the
A
other.
manly man, like how you see yourself, you would not wear that.
Hell no. But you know what's ironic? If you fucking look at this guy, who the fuck is this guy? You know, his is like, my name is Johnson.
Dude,
fucking
he's
Johnson.
just a model wearing
You're like,
the clothes.
oh shit, your name is Johnson. Oh shit, that's a manly name.
Yeah.
Johnson Michael Johnson. Damn. What do you do for a living? Johnson Michael Johnson. I'm a lumberjack. Oh fuck. And I'll use an axe. Like damn. And then he wears a dress on his side gig. It's right there.
He models.
Google it. You'll find it. I don't fucking go do that.
Don't tell him how to Google.
No, I don't know, but
No,
I understand that.
I'm just saying these are like fashion trends, and
it's fucking crazy though.
And I feel like, just like I said, it goes from one side of the spectrum to the other. And I think when people really find their wholeness, it'll be somewhere in the middle, because you can have the best of all worlds. You don't have to be right in the middle. You know, you can be vulnerable and you can be manly. You can, if that's the fashion trend you like, you can wear it, but you can pull it off with your own personality and not like the personality of what society's trying to make you think you are or make you be.
Hey, pull that shit off, man.
Find something else. Are there any other outfits?
Look at
other
Sports
than that
Illustrated swimsuit models.
That man is homosexual.
Okay, no, but try and find men's, not
there's
men who
there's a
identify
lot
as
of
women.
feminine looking.
But even some of the manly man stuff is still a little on that one side, on the other side of the spectrum. And some of the stuff actually
like that dude
looks
right
good.
there. Oh fuck!
I mean, I'm not knocking it. Some of it actually looks good. I just wanted to point out how it went from one, from like the Fonzie kind of look to
it is
to a more feminine look.
I mean, obviously, in the last, since we were in high school time, it's changed so much, and even even when I was in high school to like as soon as I graduated, like a 2-3 year gap, the fucking fashion was changing.
Would you wear that?
Probably not.
Well, that's Christian Bale, so that's different.
Okay, that's a nice suit.
Yeah, that was Christian. That's Christian Bale.
Yeah,
that's
that's a nice
Batman.
suit.
You follow Batman anywhere.
Okay. Wait. You're going to? Would you wear that?
Hell no.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the young one.
I don't think so.
Not your style.
Well, you got two different generations right here. You got
Well, that's why I'm asking him.
No. You got that generation. You got that generation right there. That's complete. He's in his 20s. He's a teenager. That's two different generations.
Well,
Joey, would you wear that shit?
I know, but I'm asking your teenager. He can't come over here so you can see. We need your opinion.
Oh,
Well, that doesn't look too bad.
Would you wear that? No.
If he was
said
Mexican,
no.
would you wear that?
soft.
I just don't like the pattern.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad. Maybe if it was
It's weird.
different colors. Yeah, it's the combo I just don't like. Okay,
It's
and
weird.
it's not very fitting. And I'll tell you, I'm an old woman. I'm old, so I can honestly say, I like clothes that are fitted on men. I want to see their physique. I want to see that nice little butt. I don't want pants that are hanging down where you can't see. It's like I like.
Yeah, what's weird is back in when I was young, all we wore was the biggest, baggiest fucking clothes.
Oh,
Like
you were one
our
of them,
pants-
like the parachute pant kind of people.
No. We were Mexicans. We weren't fucking black. Following MC Hammer. I actually wore the MC Hammer pants back when I was a kid. And then I came to my teens and shit, and we started wearing baggy pants.
Wait.
Yeah, those are different trends.
Okay,
Those are different-
wait a
those are
minute.
different
Wait a
clothes.
minute. I stand. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You said your phrase was, "Oh, we're Mexican. I wasn't black." But you wear MC Hammer pants.
When I was a
Wasn't he
kid.
black?
Yeah, when I was a kid, that was a different trend at the time.
Oh.
Whereas when we got to
So what does
different
it
age,
matter if he would have been black or Mexican? It was still a trend. It was still his pants.
It wasn't like because he was black. It was the
Okay.
fucking
Just
the
making
style.
sure. See, that's one thing we have to get out of our vocabulary.
Yeah, but can I get out of my vocabulary? That's the question because something's
yeah.
not right here where I'm scratching inside.
You're scratching inside?
I was scratching my head. Nothing's right in here. Something's fucked up in here. But anyways, yeah, we dress different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did dress different back then. Oh my God, I'm so glad the 80s are over. That was the worst hair generation ever.
For white women, yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what, Latinas too, because they had the fucking
Dude, I look like a fucking poodle.
They had the fucking the bangs come up to here. You know what they used to do back then? You know what they used to back then? And fucking
Dude, I had a perm. Can you imagine me?
No.
Bad.
Check this. This is worse. In the fucking ghettos of California, the fucking Latinos, they had the fucking shit come up right here like this, and they had aqua, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, go back. That horrible hair. Look at that. You needed like 10 cans of freaking Aquanet.
Aquanet, yes.
To hold that hair up.
Whenever there was a drive-by coming,
worst.
No, you don't get
worst hair ever.
When there was a drive-by coming, the fucking gangbangers would be like, "Oh shit, drive-by!" They grab their girlfriend and go ding 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 ding.
Horrible. I remember you'd have to sit there with like a blow dryer and hold your hair out to get it together. Why on earth did we ever think that looked good? That never looked good. Because
you're white women. You're weird. You're out.
I know. We're freaking nuts.
Yeah.
What the hell were we thinking?
That's all we say.
Bad.
White women are weird. Don't trust them.
You know how they say trends always come back? The 80s, we can just pass up that trend all the
We're actually in that trend right now, but it's mostly like film and television and
but
music.
It's
the hair, they're like, nah, fuck that
God,
shit.
No. Nobody wants to do that again.
Fuck that shit, yeah. Yeah, but that's what I always say. White women are evil. Don't date them. I dated one, and it was the worst decision ever made. You actually supported me on that. Well, not the white woman part, but the woman. So, yeah. Hey. But, high five, you. Gold star.
Hey, I said I didn't think that seemed like a healthy relationship. It had nothing to do with the fact that she's a white woman.
It had everything to do with that fact she was a white woman.
No, it did not. It had to do with the fact of her behavior.
And she came from Mississippi, the whitest state there is.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
People
I'm
from
just
Mississippi
assuming.
are awesome. She had the issue. Your time's up.
I'm just letting you know.
I can't.
It's an hour.
Oh, okay.
It's an hour.
Sorry, you can't read it.
All right.
I apologize.
He was too busy looking up hairstyles from the 80s.
What the fuck? Wow. Yeah, I see your drinks are still kind of soft.
Yes, well, that's because you had me talking too much.
No, you're talking interesting facts, and it was, it was mind-boggling and kind of disturbing, but yet educational.
I get that a lot from people.
But that's why I was just like looking at my son. I was like, "Sorry, champ.
Disturbing.
Sorry, buddy. You gotta feel everything I have. I'm sorry."
But that's not a bad thing. You get the good and the bad. I'm just saying, if the bad happens to be a problem for you,
it's been a problem for me.
The great thing is, there's a solution. This is the good part about it. There is a solution. You don't have to carry that negative naysayer self-talk with you. You don't have to have these blocks. You don't have to have any of it. If you feel it's a problem, if that's something that's holding you back, there's a solution. You can heal that trauma. You can fix that issue. You don't have to be stuck feeling depressed
using a therapist, right? And lots of drugs.
No, the great thing about this is there is no drugs. That's probably why you don't hear a lot about it, because if it's not supported by the pharmaceutical people,
that was actually going to be my next question.
That's the thing.
Crazy.
they don't support hypnosis, and they don't support this other more natural work, because doing this work can get you off drugs.
Yeah.
If you get rid of your depression, you don't need an antidepressant. If you get rid of the anger and the depression, and your health starts coming back because you let go of those negative emotions that were festering in your physical body, and you start feeling better and you get off the drugs, they're not making the money they want. So they'll probably create another...
Well, they want you to keep...
Right.
Yeah.
So then they just create another virus and have another bullshit vaccination, and
but when it comes to
they can get their money back.
But when it comes to like therapy with like for therapists for like mental health, they they want that. They want to keep pushing the drugs. They want you to like. No,
well, it depends.
they're just covering it up. I mean,
like Okay, so for mental health, traditional stuff. You might have a counselor or a therapist or a counselor, and they can't prescribe drugs.
Okay.
And then you have the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist can, because they went to med school, so they are actual doctors.
So they're the ones that are like,
yeah. And then you could see like a psychologist, and they might work under a psychiatrist, and then you might be able to, they might like the counselor you're talking to will send you to the psychiatrist, like their reports and stuff, like they work together, and then they can prescribe the medication for you.
Okay.
But like
I mean,
a counselor themselves, they're not not doctors, so they can't do that.
A psychiatrist can't prescribe drugs.
Yes, because they went to med school.
Right.
They are doctors.
But would you really want a psychiatrist? I mean, me personally, I don't like prescriptions. I don't like, but like, would you really like? Not you personally, but like as people, what do you really want? Because wouldn't you just be numbing the pain or whatever the fuck is you're going through? Like if you're, say, I'm depressed, there's hungry people in the world. Okay, here's this pill. Take this, make you feel better. Like, would you really want that, or would you want to like find a solution? Whether it's
personally
donate to a charity or you fucking build a charity. You know what I mean? Like, would you really? You know what I mean? Like, do you really want that?
Personally, I would want the solution. But my mother was a social worker and a counselor for many, many years. And she also had her own outpatient therapy center. And she worked with a lot of people on Medicaid. So she worked with lower income families, and she tried to help them get solutions for their problems. So she was all about solutions. And if you get on my my YouTube page, Advanced Life Coaching, or if you go to even my my website, advancedlifecoaching.org, I have interviews with my mom. And it's funny because I'm just the only one on camera because she didn't want to go on camera. But we actually had a conversation about this. And she was saying that if you have a therapist or a counselor that you've been working with for 6 months and your problem isn't solved, that's not the right treatment for you.
Really?
Yeah. And she even told me that she wished that she would have learned the stuff I know back when she was working with people, because she feels like she could have given them a lot better service. She could have helped them solve their problems in different ways than what she was limited to with her scope of training. And she really loves my work. And I worked with her on a few things, and even with my stepdad, who has PTSD from being in Persian Gulf War. And they think like it's remarkable work. It's nothing that they ever really experienced before with traditional therapies.
Right.
And so, yeah, even my mom addressed that. She said, if you've been working with someone 6 months and you don't have the result you're looking for, she said that treatment's not going to work. If
you don't have the result in 6 months, the treatment is not that's
right.
not going to work. That's
right. Because, and I know from what I do, the reason we work with the unconscious mind and we ask the unconscious mind to take us back to the emotion is because I'm dealing with the emotion. I never need someone to relive an experience and tell me about it to get rid of the underlying problem. Because the more you talk about it and the more you solidify it. Remember what I was saying about how when you think of something over and over, you get that habit, that pattern in
right.
your neurology in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just reinforcing that trauma the more you talk about it. So it's better to see someone, that does something similar to what I do. And there's a lot of different treatments out there. You have Ho'oponopono, you have RRT, oh my God, there's I do timeline therapy, hypnosis. Like there's a whole lot of different, kind of all similar. You know, they're all similar in how they work. They just have different people created them, so they have different names.
Okay.
Richard Bandler, he's actually one of the co-creators of NLP, and he worked with people who were in psych wards, and was able to figure out how to work on their level and help them.
Really?
Yeah, and get them out of whatever trauma was keeping them in the psych wards. So there's a lot of techniques out there. And it's just amazing to me that they don't really push this because it's more of a holistic therapy. Again, the FDA is not going to make a bunch of money off of it. But it works. You know, you get great results. So you just have to really find, you know, kind of what works for you. But yeah, if you've been seeing a counselor, at least from my mom's perspective, if you've been seeing a counselor for 6 months and you're not getting any results, that's not working for you. And I agree, because the more you talk about something over and over and over, the more you're solidifying that trauma.
That's interesting. I never heard of it that way before, because you always hear it helps to talk about it. Keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. And it's supposed to help you. That's the first time I ever said what you just said. It helps solidify it. Yeah.
I think it depends what it is. Like if you just went through a divorce, yeah, it helps to talk about it because you have to get those feelings out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you get those feelings out, you get some perspective, you feel better. But what I'm talking about is something that's deep rooted. You know?
Okay.
Like I'm talking about, like if you're talking about, you know,
rape, for example.
Okay,
you know, that's
something like that.
Yeah.
Something that happened 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not a breakup that just happened now. But we're talking about something that happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, because that's an extreme scenario right there.
Right. You keep talking about that over and over. You're just constantly reliving an experience. You don't want to keep reliving that. You don't want to keep going over those emotions over and over and over again. That's what's going to cause you to get depressed, because you're like hurting yourself over and over with this pain, right? So, okay, so let's say that happened, and maybe there is something that you want to verbally get out and you want to talk about it. Talk about it one time. Have that one session. Get it out. And then work on the emotions. You know, work on loving yourself, work on trusting again, work on trusting yourself. Like there's all these other things you can work on where you don't have to keep going over and over and over the traumatic experience.
It's a really interesting and healthy way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think that would work. I mean, well,
Thanks.
obviously it works, but it's just like, huh. What do you call that? Mind blown?
Mind blowing.
No, seriously, it's like, shit. I don't know.
You know, it's just different ways to look at the same problem. And when you look at...
A healthier way to look at it, too.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to think, you have one problem, and like the problem's right here. And then you have, think of the problem as little circle, and you have a bunch of roads that come from this circle, right? So you have all these different solutions. You have to kind of figure out which one works best for you. You know, and go that route.
Whether it be NLP or a therapist or counselor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, whatever it is. But you need to get results. That's the only thing that matters, is the result. Get the solution, get the result. Because your whole goal isn't, oh, I want to go and talk to a therapist for 6 months to a year. That's not your goal.
Okay, that makes sense.
Your goal is, I want to work through this and feel better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I had some serious issues years ago. I mean, you know about this, but for listeners who don't know, I was going through some serious shit. And I went through, too much. I don't even know where to start. But long story short, I ended up fucking getting through it by going to an ayahuasca ceremony. I told you about that.
Yeah.
That actually helped me get through it. I was like, oh shit. I was like, it was kind of like being reborn. Got through my problems, and ever since, on that issue, I've been good.
But you had a different perspective.
But I also went through a lot of different forks in the road to try
Right.
to get help on that situation, and nothing was working.
Right. And you worked with a shaman, so it's not like you only did ayahuasca. I mean, you
Yeah,
had
true.
other healing rituals
And-
with it. You had like energy work, you had other healings.
Yeah, there was a huge amount
Yeah.
of people there that were helping, and they were all helping. But
Yeah.
you know, like I took counseling for instance before. I mean, I did lots of stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell I remember taking, but a lot of things, nothing worked, and I just kept down that dark road. But yeah, that was what worked for me for that certain situation.
Right. And that's what I mean. You know, there's a lot of different things. Like some people are really, you know, passionate about like the herbs and meditation or essential oils, and that works for them. You know, some people are really passionate, you know, about, you know, something else. So you kind of have to figure out what works for you. And just because one type of therapy is the old traditional way, doesn't mean it always works. Like most people don't even know this. Sigmund Freud, who's known as the father of psychotherapy, of talk therapy, he spent most of his career as a hypnotherapist. He did that before he even started doing verbal therapy. So he kind of combined the two. He took what he knew as a hypnotherapist and how to work with the mind, and he only started doing verbal therapy when he was no longer able to speak, because hypnotherapists do all the talking.
Wow.
Yeah, and back in those days, they had really bad health care, like dental care.
Yeah.
And he ended up losing his teeth, and then he had to have like those old like wooden false teeth and stuff, and so it made it hard for him to be able to communicate with his clients. So, and he was so insecure about it that he used to sit back to back with his client. So they weren't even looking at him. They'd sit back to back and he'd be like, "Tell me your problem."
That's it.
Yeah. So a lot of people, they don't know like all of Freud's history.
So that's how that started, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. It's really
It is, but it's
interesting.
like, really? That's what the fuck started this shit?
Yeah, that's really what started it. And I think it's really cool because if more, well, when my mom was doing counseling, she said she didn't really learn anything about hypnosis. But now I've went to trainings where there's a lot of counselors in there. So they're starting to incorporate it, which I think is great because
nice.
that's originally how it was designed. Because, you know, he was a hypnotherapist first. So that's actually how it was kind of designed to begin with.
Now, these counselors, are they going there on their own accord, or are they like being like, "Hey, you guys need to do this because it will help you," like their bosses?
I really don't know. The ones that I have met have done it on their own because they're interested.
That's good though,
They're fascinated with the unconscious mind. They're fascinated, you know, they want to learn more.
and that's how you really want to help people too.
Right. But I think that's just more tools in their tool belt. So I think it'll make them a better counselor or therapist or whatever it is that they're doing.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I just like the fact that people they're looking outside the box for treatment and to help people because people, they need help. You know, I think there's so many people that are living in stress right now and so many people living in trauma when they could be having their happiest, most exciting life, when they could be loving every freaking day of their life and they're going through it miserable. And to me, that's the biggest heartbreak. My goal is I just want to reach out and help as many people as possible because there's no reason to have this amazing gift of life and be unhappy with it and be miserable. And they don't have to be. And people don't know they don't have to be. You know, I even tried to get in with a couple organizations that worked with people who were in human trafficking. And and I even had resistance with that because I was, you know, one place is like a Christian background. Like the lady who started it, you know, it's kind of based on a Christian foundation.
Okay.
And when I reached out to them, they said, "Well, we have our own Christian counselors." And I'm thinking, wow, one, you don't even know what my faith is. And two, that seems pretty. It's almost like you're taking someone from a tragic situation of sex trafficking where they were very controlled and putting them now in another controlled environment where now they have to think like you. Right?
That's a very interesting way to put it. It's like, right. People don't really think about it that way. I never thought of it that way, but damn, that's...
So I kind of, like, that was my issue with that, was like, wow, you're judging what I do without understanding what I do, because what I do is not the devil's work.
Right.
I'm very spiritual. I have a strong faith. And yes, I believe in God and Jesus, and I also believe that we are all connected. I believe we are all part of one source energy. I think my faith is even a little stronger than just the New and the Old Testament. Right. So I was kind of, that kind of hurt.
I bet. I mean, that is offensive.
Because my intent was, I just wanted to help these women get their life back.
Yeah, but what has got me right now is like, if you would just said, yeah, I went to them and was like, hey, I like to help you women. We have our own counselor, and I've been like, well, they have their own counselor, but straight, but what you said, the way you said it is like, shit.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's
just messed up.
That's just fucked up. That's like a...
It made me feel bad for the women that they're trying to help, because I'm sure they're getting great help. I'm not knocking it, and thank God that they're there to help them.
But they're also being steered into that controlled environment.
But they're also being, it's like instead of them coming into their own being, they're going from you're going to be controlled this way to now you're going to think this way and this will save you. And it's like, why don't you just get rid of the negative emotions that are trapping them to the past and let them save themselves?
It might, I don't know. It might be the right way. Their way might be the right way. But let's just say it might be the right way.
For them.
We don't know. I don't know. But why not just try to help them regardless?
That was my theory.
Yeah, that I think that's the simplest way to put it. If I was to say, "Oh, your roof's leaking. Let me just repair the roof because I'm a carpenter." We got our own Christian carpenter. He uses wooden nails from the olden days. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
He blesses his nails. He's got a blessed hammer.
Seriously. It's like, really, does it? If the work gets done, if we're helping, we're making progress, isn't that a good thing?
Right. I think the people should be able to at least try the techniques, and if they're open to it, and if they want it, and because this whole process really is a do with process. I'm a coach. There's so much I can guide you through, and then I can teach you what to continue to do to get good results. I can't do it for you. But then again, there's no therapist out there who can do anything for their client. No counselor can do anything for their client.
But that's basically everything else. That's martial arts, and that's life, and that's parenting.
That's just life in general.
Everything is like, we can't do it for anyone.
No, you have to do it yourself. But if somebody was open to what I was offering, I believe that they would get quicker and better results.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. I agree. I think so.
I just think they should have the opportunity to say yes or no, I want it.
We must boycott this place you went.
No. I wouldn't boycott them. I'm sure, I'm glad they're there.
I know what the hell
and they're
boycott
helping
means,
people,
but we'll put them on blast. We'll burn that bitch to the ground. See, this is where I come in.
That's a horrible thing.
This is where I come down. I come in. Okay?
No violence.
You're like super...
No violence.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all good.
It's all
love and light.
That's why I got a bad reputation. Yeah. So I listened to your podcast.
Uh-oh.
And no. It's like, wow.
It's raw.
Okay, the body language, for instance. It's like, wow, this is really... I like this. This is really good, And I was listening, I was learning. I was like, I like this a lot. This is really good, really informative, and I'm over here driving my fucking work truck. Someone cuts me off. roll the window like, you piece of shit, motherfucker. You know, and then I start talking shit. You know, like, oh shit, well, according to what Don was saying, I don't know what they're going through. They might have been going through this. Maybe this got cut off and they went negative emotion.
Right.
But they never met me. So fuck them. Yeah, and that's my mentality. And I'm not saying it's the right mentality. I got a fucked up mind, but fuck them people.
Well.
And I say that shit to everybody. I mean, not you. I probably say it to you. I don't fucking know. I say that shit to a lot of people.
I don't think you'd say that to me.
I don't think so.
I'd slap you so hard if you did.
What's I gonna do? The best you got.
No, but you're right. I mean, sometimes you have to understand. One thing that I don't think people really realize is when you get angry or you get frustrated, like someone cuts you off, and you have the right to be frustrated. One, that was unsafe. You know, they weren't caring about your safety. What if you got in an accident?
Okay.
I had someone cut me off and then hit their brakes. Thank God I was paying attention, because that easily could have been an accident. That was so inconsiderate. It was unsafe. And this person did it on purpose because they were upset about something. Nothing I did, but yet they were going to put my life in danger. So I understand people... When I'm saying you shouldn't get frustrated, you shouldn't get mad, I'm not saying that you don't have a good reason. You do have a valid reason. But what I think is more important is like when that person did that, I was just so grateful that I was paying attention, and I was so thankful that nothing bad happened. And for me to keep myself from going into like a negative place where yeah, I could have yelled at the person. I could have done the same thing to them. You know, I could have been like road rage. But I think one thing that really keeps you more stable is when you can look at a situation like that more like an observer. You could look at it and be like, wow, I really feel sorry for that person. I mean, who would want to go through their whole day being that angry? Like, so there's this one technique that I like to teach people when you get frustrated.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, okay. I do, because
okay.
Maybe I can use it.
Yeah, you can. So the way the mind works is you can't have two conflicting emotions at the same time. So if you're frustrated or angry, you go into what's considered fight or flight mode. When you are in fight or flight mode, that part of your brain kind of shuts down, right? So you're only working with the unconscious mind, which means you're working on like a habit, okay? So when you're in fight or flight, you can't use logic, right? Okay. So you get angry or frustrated and you're just going to react to that emotion, right? So before you get to that point, let's say you're driving down the road, someone's really inconsiderate, terrible driver, you know, they put your life in danger. You have the right to be mad. But before you like go off the deep end, think to yourself, think of the person right now. I want you to do it right now. I want you to think of someone cutting you off and you get really ticked off about it. Think about the last jerk that just cut in front of you.
But there's different levels though. You got frustrated, annoyed, angry.
You think of whichever one you want.
Pissed the fuck off.
Think of whichever one you want, because this will work on all of them.
Okay.
So just think of a scenario when you were irritated. Can you think of a time when you were frustrated or irritated?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, can you do it right now?
Sure.
Okay, do it right now.
Flip that bitch off and fucking crush her soul. It's the funniest thing ever.
Okay, so you have that picture in your head.
Oh yeah, that bitch went fucking...
Okay, you have that picture in your head.
She melted.
So right now, I want you to think of the driver of that car, or the driver of that vehicle. I want you to think of them with like really big, like Dumbo ears. And a little tiny head like this, and that she has a voice like this, and these really big ears. Think of her looking like that.
Oh, that bitch is pathetic then.
Okay, now think of her like really
like tiny body, and she's like sitting there like this, driving her car like
You
this.
step on her.
Right? Now think of her with like a really funny looking nose. Just make her look like a cartoon character in your head. Do it.
I am.
Do you got that picture?
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's
Do you got
stupid
that
looking.
picture? Okay, you got that picture? What does her voice sound like?
You just did it.
Yeah, she sounds like this.
Yeah.
It sounds like this. It sounds really goofy.
Yeah. it's fucked
So
up.
think of this person in her car, and she's driving in front of you, and she's like, "I'm in front of you. I'm in front of you," with these big ears.
That's when I run that bitch over and stomp on her.
But think of it. Make that picture and see how you're laughing right now? See how you're laughing? Try and be mad right now while you're laughing.
Oh, fuck that bitch.
You can't do it.
You know what? Okay,
You can't do it.
You got me.
You cannot have that angry emotion and laugh at the same time. So the minute that you change that person into a goofy looking cartoon character with a silly voice, the minute you change that emotion to one that makes you laugh, it takes you out of anger. It puts you back into logic, where logically you're thinking, this person's a fool. Oh well, glad I'm not. Right?
So don't laugh at a person's face because it might offend them.
Who cares?
They pull a gun out and they shoot you.
No, but I'm just saying, the minute that I saw you started laughing, you couldn't get that angry image in your head anymore, could you? You still can't.
I don't know, but yeah, you got me. Okay.
No, you couldn't, and you still can't. You cannot have that goofy image and the angry one at the same time.
True, but I still wish I could step on that bitch.
Well, maybe that's true, but in that moment, if you were driving and you did that right then and there, you would switch that emotion. So put it this way. You have two scenarios. The one where you stay mad, right? You get to your destination, and what's the first thing you do? You tell someone about this idiot person who cut you off, and you stay mad. And then you tell someone else that story, and then you think about it later, and you stay mad throughout the day. She's not worth that much time and energy.
Actually, we follow them.
Okay, so you follow them, right. So now you're spending more time and energy of your day following someone and going the wrong direction, somewhere you don't even want to go.
Until they stop in satisfaction.
Oh my
is
gosh. But in this scenario number 2, you turn that person into a goofy cartoon character, you laugh, and pretty soon you blow it off. And guess what? You're not spending the next hour of your day following someone thinking angry thoughts. In fact, you've already went past it, and you probably wouldn't even think about it again during the day. And if you did, you'd think about the goofy picture and laugh.
That might be true, but when we do it my way, when we follow them till they stop and we settle business like a man,
And then you go to jail.
we
Yay!
sing songs of glory
Oh my God.
around the fire and drink mead.
Oh my God. You think you're Thor now? I don't think you're Thor.
I'm not a Thor. I'm Mexican. I'm a beaner. Yeah, my way is pretty bad when you think about it that way.
But I'm just saying,
No,
your
that makes
way
sense.
might create more drama and more
It
drama.
does. I'm not gonna lie.
And it spirals. My way, you laugh at how ridiculous this person is. You realize this is not worth losing your temper over, and it's definitely not worth getting in an accident. It's not worth hurting someone else. It's not worth getting in trouble. It literally puts things back in perspective, because you can logically think, wow, that person doesn't deserve to have a license. But you don't have to go off the deep end because of it. Right?
That's true, but I think my way is better.
Okay, well, we'll
No.
stick with your way and let's see what happens.
No, listening to your podcast and how you're talking about this positivity shit, and well, you know what? I'm actually positive too, but it's like we're two forks in a road. Where yours taking the high road, mine's more like towards the anger is forever. You know,
Well,
it's
only
like
if you choose that.
it's like what's wrong in your life right now? Oh, I lost all my money. Get angry, bitch, and go do something about it.
You know what? Anger actually can be very motivating. I'm not saying you have to get rid of anger, because that's a natural emotion. It's there to protect you. It's there to help you. I don't think anger is a negative thing. I think if you react negatively with anger, that's a negative thing. But you know what? Some people have become multimillionaires because someone told them they couldn't do it. And they became kind of mad. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to show you I can.
They got that chip on their shoulder.
And they went and did it.
Yeah.
So I don't think, even though they call it a negative emotion, I don't think any emotion is technically negative.
Well, there you go.
I think it's what you do with it. But what I can say there are certain emotions, you know, like anger, frustration, which do
Pissed the fuck off.
right, be pissed off, which do put you into a different state of mind where you go into fight and flight and you're not able to logically think. And when you think of a lot of people, when they get scared and they just act a fool and they do things and you're like, why did they act like that? Like, that didn't even make any sense. That didn't even fit the situation, right? It's because they went into fight or flight mode and they reacted and they weren't being logical. And I think with a lot of the problems that they're having nowadays, especially with like law enforcement, this is what they should really be teaching EMTs and law enforcement and anyone who's a first responder, that to understand that if you come up on someone and they just got busted, they know they're busted, they're afraid of being in trouble, they don't want to go to jail, maybe they're going to go back again, you know, they have all these secondary things going on and they don't want to take responsibility for what they just did, and they start acting out. They're acting out because they just went into fight or flight mode and they want to flight, right? They want to get the hell out of there, or they want to fight and try and get the hell out of there. So these people really have to understand that when they are in that mode, they are not even capable of logically thinking. So like the officer, the EMT person, or whoever the first responder is trying to logically speak to them and say, hey, these are the rules, you know, stop what you're doing, drop this, put your hands up, you know, whatever the command is, that person's not comprehending what they're saying.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because their brain's not where they can actually think about this.
And that's why these situations, like 9 times out of 10, they always escalate to an exponential level.
Yeah, they escalate because the person goes more into fight or flight mode. And pretty soon, the officer sees, okay, this person's in danger to themselves or others. And it kind of puts them in fight or flight mode as well. Because now they're trying to control this person. Right. And the person's out of control. And I'm not saying that they're doing it. I'm not even saying they're doing it, you know, with logic. They're not doing it on purpose. They just fell back to a default mode that they have. Some people don't have that. Some people were raised, you know, like me. If I get pulled over, I'm going to listen. I'm going to do what's asked. I'm not going to run. If I get in trouble, okay, whatever. I screwed up. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, whatever you say, I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the rules. I don't go into flight and fight mode because what do I have to run from? Yeah,
no shit.
I have nothing to be afraid of. You know, I'm like, okay. And I've been pulled over before. You know, I've been pulled over before and
yeah, I've seen you drive, yeah.
All right. And I just give them my information. One time I got pulled over because my brake light was out. You know, and they just informed me my brake light was out. Now, if I would have reacted to being pulled over before they even told me that, it could have escalated to something bad. They would have found me combative or they would have found me rude. But instead, I actually thought I was being pulled over for speeding. I didn't think I was speeding, but, you know, who knows? You know, sometimes I do. And, you know.
I got pulled over for a broken taillight, too, one time.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a DUI, and I was sober. And about a bitch. I should have went to fight or flight mode that day.
No, you should not. But, you know, it's how you react to things. Because people feed off each other's energy. So, obviously, if you're reacting in in a fight or flight way, if you're acting angry, if you're acting combative, then the other person's going to feed off that energy too.
That is two very extremes.
And I think that that's where awareness comes in. When you teach people to be more aware of this, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of first responders who are very aware of this. I'm not saying that they don't get some, they do get training in this. Some do. I can't say every department. I don't know every department.
Right.
But a lot of departments do get training in this, where they have to really hone in on their own energy and be aware of, okay, stay calm. Let this person's reacting. Like, a lot of people do know this. And so they can separate. And then they don't really react until the person does something, like if they grabbed a weapon or something, obviously you have to react to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is just all psychology. This is just really understanding the human psyche. And if you can feed off other people's energy, at the same time, you can, if someone's like really freaking out, if you have that much control over your own energy, you can bring theirs down. You can calm them down.
That's where the fucking negotiators come in.
And not even a negotiator. The first responder could do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. With some
Anyone
training,
could do it. You just have to learn how.
Well, not to cut you short, but you've been at it a while. Long while. Almost enough time for you to finish 2 simple drinks.
Right?
But we'll definitely have to do this again, Don. But what I want to know is, real quick, what's your future goals?
My ultimate goal, I'd love to open up a foundation. And just make this information accessible, to people. And like I said earlier, I really wanted to work with people who've been in really traumatic situations, such as like human trafficking. I wanted to get involved in that, just help people get their lives back together. But that's like my long-term ultimate goal. Right now, I want people to know I'm here.
Good.
I want people to know I'm here, and so that they can come and get breakthrough sessions, and I can start getting my business growing. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's a good goal.
I want to save the world.
Yeah. See,
light and love.
Well, you want to save the world. My son wants to take the world for a ride. I want to destroy the world.
We're a good team.
The world owes me.
That's right.
I know it's fucked up, but that's why this is your podcast. I'm like, oh wow, she's like my solar opposite.
Well, you were created to own this world. We all were.
I don't know. I think I was created to destroy it, because I have a lot of. Yeah, I'm gonna destroy the world.
Sometimes you gotta destroy to rebuild.
Elon Musk.
I love him.
Me too, but he's trying to get us to the next frontier. I'm trying to destroy our current fucking home.
But that's what's going on right now. You gotta destroy the drama so you can create something better.
They're trying to destroy the drama with their bullshit. Oh, this and that with the race. No, fuck that. I'm trying to destroy the fucking world. I don't care if I fucking get a fucking Infinity Gauntlet and invent it myself and I smash the fucking ozone layer. I know what ozone layer is. Yeah, that's right. I don't fucking ozone layer. I'm trying to destroy the world, but yeah, that's my mentality.
I think we need our ozone layer. I was out in the sun today and got sunburnt.
You are burnt.
I am.
She's usually pale white.
You know what? It's because we need more ozone, so I don't get burnt.
For you guys not being able to watch the video and listening, yeah, she's pretty fucking. Well, she's Norwegian
And Swedish.
and sweet. Okay, so she's not white. She's white.
I'm white.
Yeah, she's white. Scandinavian, Norwegian, and Swedish. That is 3 fucking hardcore whites, and she's pale as fuck. But today she's fucking like tan and burnt, but
I'm starting to get some color.
As burnt as eggshell can get. But yeah.
So
your podcast and any business information, if you want to link those out real quick, like, give them a shout out. How can people reach you?
Oh, my podcast, Spotify, on strategic life coaching, and YouTube, Advanced Life Coaching, and my website is advancedlifecoaching.org.
Nice. AdvancedLifeCoaching.org.
Yes.
And do you have the links to your podcasts on your website?
Not yet. I know I have to do that. But I on like my Facebook and stuff I do.
Okay, what's your Facebook?
My Facebook, Advanced Life Coaching.
And your name or no? Just Advanced Life Coaching.
You know what? You can find it either way. My
Okay.
name's Dawn Torkelson, Torkelson.
If you see a white woman, yeah, that's her. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Blue eyes, right? I
Yes.
hope so. I'm about to say,
Very
yeah. The fucking blonde hair, blue eyes, what Hitler wished. Is that too far? Well, thank you, Don, for being here. I appreciate you. And we'll definitely do it again. And maybe I'll be on your podcast sometime, talking shit, being a maniac.
I hope so.
Yeah, definitely.
Sooner
And,
than later.
Yes, definitely. And for everyone that's out there right now, you know exactly what this is. I'm Ernesto. This is the LD Podcast. Listen or don't. I don't give a fuck.